So why did you choose these areas of sustainable development and ESG focus? I mean, how come you realized this idea when you start up, untapped market and come up with this startup idea?
I had dual roles. From a commercialization perspective, my role has always been to develop business in big tech, enterprise tech, with industry, academia and government relations. For the last 4 years, I was on a program of works to contribute to ESG for a big tech organisation. That's where we were deploying technology to underserved communities to uplift
Underserved community.
Correct. And very quickly I ascertained in there's great work in place, but there's a lot of duplication and a lot of best effort. So people who are implementing plans are generally quite, restricted and light on in terms of resources and funding. They have to make the most of what they can get as well. So when I saw that coming from a commercial perspective, and knowing that wouldn't fly in the commercial space. And we're not commercialising here, but what we're doing is we're looking at best practice. We're looking at mitigating risk. The difference here is its impact. And it's probably more so important that you get it right because it's impacting people's lives. So to run a program of works and to have funding that's attributed to it and making sure that funding is going to the right place and activating the right type of impact is critical for the longevity of the communities. And the sustainability of the program of works. It's not an easy space. The convergence of tech for the better of humanity is always a very wide lens to have a look at. But from a VXC perspective, we saw a gap in the delivery of programs to a best practice standard to be able to yield impact returns, but be able to put it in a way where you can accelerate that impact with scale.
Right.
And that's what technology can do. The world is very heavily weighted in environmental. Okay, in the ESG equation, environmental is much easier to track because, you've got sensory data, you've got IoT devices, so you can measure effectively a ton of carbon scientifically. It's tangible. How do you measure social value? How do you put IoT devices on people to be able to quantify social value? Social value is like art. It's in the eye of the beholder.
It's kind of intangible? Or
it's
hard to measure?
However, it is. If you get all the stakeholders together that want to looking at an investment, and you also get the communities that are initially, it could be a factor that, in the business world, they don't consider that factor collateral or capital. Yeah, it could be knowledge. If you can bring everybody together and agree to that value up front. What happens is with technology now, like blockchain technology, you can basically uphold that cadence, in a much more simpler, faster way. And what it gives you is the real-time ability to tap into that data immutably. So it's all of those pieces coming together now, and it's an opportunistic, it is an opportune time for VXC to bring those pieces together and to say, look, if we want to ensure that there is inclusive impact, then we're moving in a data economy, a digital economy, then what we have to do is we have to look at data as the commodity.